So in the scene, Mara is seen with his son Ganga. In the scene 1, it is the village headman, king, Mara and Mara's son. Torrential downpour and the king's palace bell is ringing instantly. In scene 5, in front of a shrine on the lake, Ganga and his son. Hello everyone, I am Babita Tamaya, lecturer, Department of English, Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Mysuru. In my previous session, I had discussed about the Watchman of the lake. From this play, I had discussed two scenes, that is scene 1 and scene 2. Let's have a quick recap on scene 1 and scene 2. So in scene 1, Mara disturbs the road menders and compelled the village headman to imprison him and to be locked up in the cellar. So here the king was about to pass on this road and the road menders were busy doing their work. By the time, what does Mara do? He comes and disturbs the workers there. And later on, with the help of the Bhima, Mara was put into the prison. But Mara had something to convey to the king, but he was into the prison. Later on, he just explains his dream, what he has dreamt, what the goddess had told in his dream to Bhima, and Bhima helped him out to come out of the prison. And what did he do in the second scene? Mara stops the king and conveys his vision of building a tank across river Veda as per the command of goddess. So in the scene 2, when the king was about to pass on the road, he jumps from the tree when he sees the king over there. And the king questions him, why did you jump from there? What is the reason? You could have asked for the audience. He says, everyone calls me a lunatic. I don't have any other work, but I have something to convey what the God has told me in my dream. And what was that he wanted to convey? It is that the people make use of my river, that is my lake, when they want, and when they don't want, they just pollute it. But ask your king to build a tank for me. That is what River Veda had. The goddess had come in his dream and told. The same thing he has conveyed it to the king, and the king says that yes, obviously we are going to build a tank for River Veda, and when I go back from this village tomorrow, you are going to accompany me. You will be coming to my domain. But what does Mara says? Mara says that he has rugged clothes. He don't have any good clothes to wear and he stands back. But the king says that it is my command and it is your responsibility to obey my command. And here Mara was ready to go with the king the next evening. That was all about scene 1 and scene 2. Now let's see what is in scene 3. In scene 3, what happens? With the help of the Mara, or the whatever the goddess has told Mara in his dream, and he has conveyed the same thing to the king, and the tank is built to River Veda. So let's see what happens in this scene here. In scene 3, many years later, Mara standing before his hut on the bank of a vast lake. There is a mingled noise of wavelets breaking upon the shore, cries of gulls and the rustling of the leaves. So in the scene, Mara is seen with his son Ganga. In the scene 1, it is the village headman, king, Mara and Mara's son. In this scene, now you can see Mara's son Ganga is entering. In scene 1 and 2, it was only the king, the village headman, Mara and Bhima. Now in scene 3, Mara's son is entering, that is Ganga. Mara chases away the man who is fishing in the lake. Mara then meets a visitor who has come a long way to ask for a favor. Whom he visits? He visits, someone has come to visit Mara to ask for a help or to ask for a favor. Let's see what happens here. So here Mara is calling his son Ganga, and Ganga comes running saying that why are you shouting as if something or the other has happened. And Mara questions, where did you go? Mara is asking his son, where did you go? So his son replies, I was just watching, or I was just behind the trees watching. Mara questions, what you were watching? So the son replies, that is Ganga replies, saying that a man was fishing over there. So I was just looking at the man, how he was fishing. Mara is stunned and he says, fishing? Who's fishing and where is he fishing? He just runs towards the lake and the son also follows. That is, Ganga also follows his father Mara. And Mara sees the man fishing over the lake and he had a rod and hook in his hand. And he could find some fishes on his basket also. So Mara questions the man, what are you doing here? Why are you fishing here? So the man replies, I'm not fishing. I'm saying the truth. But Mara says, yes, I have been the watchman of this lake from many years and I have come across hundreds of storytellers like you. But this will be my last warning. Again, if I see near this lake, I'm going to push you into the water so that you will be fed by the fishes. So it means to say that Mara is very sincere and polite in his work. And he sees that nobody disobey his order as well as the goddess command. He doesn't want the lake to be polluted. And he also tells his son, this is what even you have to do when I'm not there. And he also says to his son that this lake or this river is the sacred spot or the sacred river of goddess. And her command is that nothing that flies, swim or walk not to be killed. Even if the tiger comes from the mountain to slake its thirst, even that also not to be killed. Such was the command of the goddess as well as the king. And he says the same thing to his son to follow also. So the man whom Mara was shouting at him, he questions, you're just the watchman of this lake. You're not the master of this place. That is what the man questions. And you don't think that you're talking too much being a watchman. What does Mara says? Yes, I'm the watchman of this lake and the king has made me the watchman and nobody can question me here. So River Veda, it was because of me the tank was built and I know when to leave the water to the field and when to stop. And no one can question me. So even the headman of the village, once he had bet me and believed me. So what he has to do now in the sense, if he wants to touch the water of River Veda, he has to take the permission of me. So he is not supposed to come and take the water from this lake or the river. Mara also says to the man saying that I have spoken too much to you, but you doesn't deserve so much. And he just asked his son to move away from the place, saying that you can see the man, some other man near the lake getting the cow down there. Just go and tell him the water is deep over there, not to bring it down. His son Ganga runs towards the man. By the time Mara finds a visitor over there. Why have you come here? How can I help you? That was the question from Mara to the visitor. And he also says that here nearby there is my hut. If you don't mind, we can just go and munch something and come back. But I have cooked myself as my wife is out of station. So he takes the visitor and the visitor says that I have come here to ask a favor from you. So Mara asks, what is the favor you need from me? The man says that due to the scarcity of water, all our fields is getting dried and the cattle are drying. So we need the water from your lake. That is what the visitor asks for Mara's help. So Mara says, yes, of course, I'm going to leave or I'm going to give the water as per the king's order, and before that I need to visit your place and see that where the channels can be done. As soon as the channel is ready, the water will be yours. I'm going to give the water as per the king's instruction. So the visitor was very happy. Before the visitor leaves, Mara calls his son saying that it is too very cloudy. I think it is going to rain heavily. There will be a torrential downpour, and he calls his son saying that let's go back to the hut. This is all about the scene 3. So when the scene 3 ends up, the visitor had come asking for a help and Mara is ready to help. By the time when the visitor was about to leave, he finds the cloud as if it is going to rain heavily. So his son is back and both of them go back to the hut. Let's see what is in scene 4. In scene 4, late at night, torrential downpour and shrieking storm. The king's palace, the bell at the palace gate ring instantly. In this scene, Mara goes to king in order to stop goddess from destroying the lake. At the end of the scene, Mara sacrifices his own life. So what happens here? In the scene 4, there is a torrential downpour and the king's palace bell is ringing instantly. So who has come here? When the bell is ringing instantly, the king comes down asking that who has come here at this time, and there is a heavy downpour. And why are you ringing the bell so instantly? That is what the king asks. And who are you? So the man replies saying that I have come running so I can't breathe properly. That is what the man replies. And the king asks, who are you? Why did you drench and why did you come at this time? And why are you ringing the bell so instantly? So the man says, I am Mara, the watchman of the lake. At that time, the king asked, and you're drenched completely. I couldn't recognize who are you. And why did you come at this time? What has happened? So Mara says, it is about the lake. So the king asks, why? What happened for the lake? Mara says that it is about to smash its bound. Because it is a torrential downpour, there is a heavy rain. I think that river Veda is going to destroy now because of this heavy rain. Something has to be done. So I did not know what to do. I came running to just inform you what has happened over there. And the king says, are you gone mad? Are you in your own mind? Whatever I'm saying, it's right. Till evening, there was no sign of rain, but suddenly everything was dark. The clouds became dark, and I took my son inside the hut, and it started to rain heavily. There was a heavy downpour. At midnight, wind rocked my hut. By the time I went out of the hut to see what has happened for the lake. King is asking Mara, is that lake going to break? So Mara says, yes, of course, it is going to destroy each and everything. And he also says that I have never seen anything terrible such in my life. River Veda is going to destroy. It is her plaything. That is what the goddess told from the beginning. The goddess has come in Mara's dream and he had asked him to build a tank for it, and the tank is built. Now the goddess again, he has come in Mara's dream saying that I'm going to destroy it. The king asks, what is going to happen for the lake? Mara says that I fell down to the feet of the goddess. The goddess stood before me and her tresses were wild. Her eyes gleamed with strange light, and she carried a sword in her hand, and she has splashed her forehead with vermilion. She looks very wild. I think she is going to destruct and destroy each and everything. Whatever the tank we have built, everything will be destroyed. That is what Mara says to the king. Mara says that, tell me clearly what is going to happen for this lake. What I have to do now? What does the goddess says here? The goddess says, I'm going to kick out the stones from which you have built a tank for me. It is my plaything. I'm going to destroy each and everything now. But Mara says, why are you going to destroy it? It was your command to build a tank. You had come in my dreams and you had asked the king to build a tank, and I have conveyed the same thing and the tank was built. And now you're saying that you're going to destroy the tank which is built for river Veda. And the goddess says, it is my plaything. When I wish like destroying, I'm destroying it. I will splash the water so everything will be destroyed. And the king says, king is asking Mara, are you speaking the truth? So Mara says, yes, your majesty, whatever I'm saying, it is the truth. If you feel that I'm lying, you may perish my son. You may kill my son. That is what Mara replies to the king. What does the king say now? The king asks Mara to say the story. So Mara continues his story saying that I pleaded goddess not to destroy the lake. So here Mara is requesting or pleading goddess not to destroy the lake. Here Mara is trying to plead, Mara is begging goddess, but goddess says, it is my plaything, I am going to destroy the lake. The goddess is not ready to listen to the Mara's words. So he says, he just requests goddess saying that you'll not destroy the lake until I come back. I'll just go and convey this message to the king. Until then, you're not going to do anything for this lake as well as the kingdom. So the goddess agrees and she says that until you come back, nothing will happen. And the goddess also agrees and she says that yes, I will grant you to go and tell this to your king and I will wait until you come back. So the Mara has ran towards the king to give the message or to convey the message. So after conveying the message, what does he say? What does the king says here? And the king is questioning Mara, are you sure that you have seen the god and she has told all these things? So Mara says, yes, your majesty, she had come, she had stood in front of me, I have pleaded, but she was not ready to listen. Obviously, she is going to destroy the lake. That is what Mara says. And here the king was ready to send the people with the drums to announce that tomorrow morning when the sun rises, the people will rise with a lifeless because everything will be destroyed. But Mara says, no, you're not going to do any such things because I have told the goddess until I come back, you're not going to destroy the lake. So even the goddess has agreed for that. So what the king has to do now? What does the king say? Or what is Mara saying to the king? Mara says to the king, so if I go back to the lake, near the lake again, so that the goddess will destroy the lake. So there is a question mark. If I don't go, the king is asking, so what I am supposed to do? So Mara says, you're going to kill me with your sword so that I'll not return back to the lake and the goddess will never destroy the lake. And before dying, Mara says, I have one thing to say. After I'm gone, you'll make my son as the watchman of the lake. That was his last wish before his death. So what happens in the scene 4 here in the sense, Mara sacrifices his life to save the king as well as his kingdom. That was in the scene 4. The last scene, scene 5. In scene 5, in front of a shrine on the lake, Ganga and his son. So in scene 4, it is Mara and his son Ganga. In scene 5, it is Ganga and his son. Ganga's son's name is not given, so we'll consider his name as son itself. In scene 5, Ganga instructs his son not to miss worship in the shrine, and he also narrates to his son on how he lost his father. So what happens in scene 5 in the sense here? It was the time to worship and Ganga is calling his son for the worship, and he gets wild when he did not find his son over there, and he says that you're not going to miss any worship from today onwards. For the correct time, you need to come and pray for the goddess as well as his father. And he just narrates the story how he lost his father to his son. And Ganga is telling to his son, don't forget again you're not going to miss any worship. You have to come in time and do your worship. And the son says, yes, I'm not going to miss any worship. Hereafter, I'll be regular. And Ganga also says that at this age, at your age, I was given the responsibility that to be the watchman of the lake or to take my father's responsibility. The last day when I saw my father was before going to the bed. When I woke up the next day morning, my father was no more, and the king had ordered me to be the watchman of the lake from that particular day itself. So I had taken so much of responsibilities. Now it is your turn. When I am not there, even you have to follow the same thing. You are not going to miss any kind of a worship. And he says that this is how I lost my father. And soon after his death, he built a shrine and he had placed the goddess idol as well as his father's idol. From many places or many countries, thousands and lakhs together of people will come to worship every day. But the king's order is to worship every evenings on Thursdays and Fridays. Without fail, each and every one would worship the goddess as well as the Mara, because he had sacrificed his life to save the king as well as his kingdom. And Ganga tells his son, if I am gone, you will be the watchman of the lake and after you it will be your son. It continues in such a way. From one after the other will take the responsibility of being the watchman of the lake. So from this play, we have a very good message saying that not to pollute the water. So once we start polluting the water, what the God will do in the sense, the goddess or the God will see for some time, excuses her for some time, but later on when they are not, when we are polluting our rivers and the lakes, one or the other day we also have to follow the same kind of situation. Moving on to the glossary, it is nothing out of the text. So just have a glance at the glossary. So from this chapter you can expect 1 mark and the 4 marks question and sometimes 6 marks questions from this chapter or the play. I'll be back with another session with the poem The Farmer's Wife. Until then, have a good day. Thank you.